Okay guys, so I am arriving here at Émery house. Émery is a new host mom. She is about to get her new au pair coming and she just matched with that au pair. And if you haven't noticed, it's snowing. This is like my first snow ever. And I came here to talk with Émery about her expectations of getting an au pair. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are an au pair, or even for you, Danny, if you're watching this video, this is also for you. Émery is so glad that you're coming to her house, and I really appreciate people if you give a thumbs up on this video. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye. So today I'm here with Émery, and Émery just matched with an au pair who will arrive soon, and will take care of her daughter who is almost 2 years old, and a new baby that is who is coming soon. So Émery, may you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Émery. I live here in beautiful Baltimore, although some people may argue otherwise. I have been here in Baltimore for a few years, and we really like living here. I have as Lucas said, a 2-year-old daughter, almost 2-year-old daughter, and I've been the primary caregiver for the past almost 2 years, returning back to work and looking for some help for my child.
Okay. So Émery, when we think about childcare in the USA, even though the Americans have different options and many au pairs all over the world, why do you think many people still don't seem to know this childcare exchange program?
I think that there are probably a few reasons. This could be my own personal bias, but when I think of au pairs, I tend to think of people who have au pairs are wealthy, and it's a very elite sort of thing to have. A live-in nanny, I mean, that's pretty rare. So I think that number one, there's a certain social class of people that may have a knowledge of that because they've had access and maybe some experience with au pairs. And for people who maybe have heard of it, automatically assume that because it's typically something that wealthy people use, that it's got to be cost prohibitive. So I think that people may automatically rule it out as an option because of that. In addition, there are a couple of other things that are required. That is being willing to invite somebody to come live in your home for a year, which is a big commitment, especially, you know, if you've been used to just having your own little family for a while. It can feel a little bit overwhelming to go back to a lifestyle that involves a roommate. So, you know, being open to that idea, and then also being able to have the space to host somebody for that period of time.
Very good. And how did you find out about the program?
From some neighbors that told me that they were thinking about getting an au pair, and then it kind of, you know, made me think like, that's something that maybe we should consider because, for my husband and I, we really value being able to have an open mind, an open heart, and be curious about the world and about people. And we want Etienne, our daughter, to have the same sort of curiosities. We think that that's a really important value, and to be exposed to a lot of different ways of thinking, being in the world, culture and language. So, it was something, an au pair was one thing we were considering, in addition to language immersion programs. But ultimately we chose the au pair.
And why did you consider having someone from a totally different culture come into your house?
Yeah, for the reasons that I just mentioned, really wanting to start from a very young age. And that's already part of our daily life, where we really try to introduce Eti to a lot of different ways of thinking, ways of being in the world. And like I said, language. The language piece was really important. I don't know if I'm fluent enough in Spanish to call myself bilingual, but I'm definitely fluent enough to be able to hold my own and travel and interact with people who are monolingual Spanish speaking. And what I've found for myself, developing that skill in adulthood, it opened up so many doors for me. Most importantly, the ability to connect with more people and have more understanding. And I want the same thing for Etienne. I want her to be able to pick up another language and become fluent more easily than I did. If she's learning it from a very early age, it'll be a lot easier than if she's learning it in her 20s.
What would you say your expectations toward this new au pair are?
I want her to be herself. I want her to be herself. I want her to also just feel really comfortable in our family. I want her to feel like she's home. And I want her to be happy because I think all of those things will contribute to her having a successful year with us.
What do you think is the most difficult thing when you're trying to match with an au pair?
I think it's a variety of different things. There's the personality element, because as I mentioned earlier, a year is a long time to live with somebody that's a stranger. And you want to know that you'll get along reasonably well. So the personality is key, and thinking about their personality and how it could also match with my child's personality. Do I think that they would get along well? Do I think that their energy level is similar? And I think too, there's a piece around why do you want to become an au pair? What's motivating you to do this? And I have my own criteria that I was looking for somebody who wanted to become an au pair, and that's very specific to me. Yeah, but those are the things that I considered.
Okay, and if you were an au pair, where would you like to go? If you were far from home, what would you miss more?
Well, I can already tell you that the thing that I would miss would be my family. I would miss, this is assuming that I don't get to take Etienne with me.
Yes.
I would miss Etienne terribly, hands down. And then after that, my husband and my dog, somewhere, they'd be tied for who I would miss. Oh God, that's recorded.
It's recorded. We cannot take it back.
And where would I want to go?
Yeah.
In this moment, probably someplace warm, but that's because it's cold and snowy out.
Yes.
But not too warm. Maybe,
Brazil?
possibly Italy.
Italy?
Italy.
Okay.
Because I'd be able to eat tons of pasta and get fat and be nice and warm along the coast.
Okay. And just to end our video, would you like to send your au pair or all the other au pairs a final message?
Be yourself when you're interviewing, and remember that the match is just as much about you finding the right family as it is for the family finding the right au pair. And so if it doesn't feel like you make a connection, then that's not the family for you. If there's any doubt in your mind, that's not the family for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.